The women's hockey team returns to LeBon Arena this weekend as it hosts Cornell for a pair of games. Friday's game is a 7 p.m. start, while Saturday has been moved back to 8 p.m. due to the start time of the football game. Head coach Mark Johnson is here. We'll have some opening comments and take questions.
Those used to be fun. Hockey night in Canada, 8 o'clock in Toronto and Montreal. You always used to get excited playing those games. So looking forward to Saturday night, hockey night in Madison. It'd be good. So as I've said before, it's going to be nice to be home here. We got 4 of our next 6 games before winter break and finals come about us. So looking forward to the challenge. Haven't played Cornell. I'm not sure in a long time. We've never played them, I don't think, in Madison. So looking forward to the opportunity to go outside our conference and play a couple non-conference games against a worthy opponent. A team and a program that, if you look at their history, has produced a lot of quality players and certainly has some quality teams. So it'll be a good challenge for us stepping outside the WCHA for a weekend. And being Thanksgiving weekend, it should be a pretty good atmosphere with things that are going around Madison. So looking forward to the challenge.
Mark, how was your team's response Saturday after Friday? Did you see what you wanted to see the next time out?
In the first period, probably not. And then, we had a conversation between the first and second, and then from that point on, we probably played as well as we played all year. The best part, as I told the team after the first period, the best part of it was that it was over. And we responded real well. You didn't know what they were going to do after, leaving the rink Friday night. And if you watched us play Friday night or looked at the game at all, the first period we probably played as well as we had all season. Came out and, I think the shot chart was 20-2. Even with 4 minutes to go in the second period, we hadn't given up very much at all. But unfortunately, we hadn't gotten anything either. And so it's 0-0 where they get a power play and get a deflection off our defenseman's skate, and it's 1-0. And we had played pretty well. And then, to start the third period Friday, we came out the first 2 shifts and had a couple golden opportunities to tie the game. And, gave up a puck in an area where you usually don't want to, and they end up making it 2-0. And so it was sort of a little bit of uphill and an opportunity to see how we would react, walking away from the rink not winning. And so, like I say, the last 2 periods Saturday was something that I think the players, and we talked about at the end of the game, it was good to see. We started to compete and play and really dominate that last 40 minutes. And the most important part, found ways to get the puck into the net.
In regards to that, I know nobody wants to lose, but what's the best thing you learned about your team in that loss?
Well, I think, again, you get a response, and what is that response going to be? And, who's going to jump up amongst your leaders or your younger players? And, having lost the first game of the year, it's a learning opportunity. And as each game is, what things did we do well? What didn't we do well? And the most important is, what do we need to do to get better? And that's how I approach each game. And, Friday, it was no different than the weekend before. And within that game that we lost, we did a lot of good things. I mean, if you watch the first 38, 40 minutes of the game, it was pretty good. And then gave up a couple goals, and, that can happen. And, how would the team respond? Anne Renee in the net, and a lot of little things that over the course of time will make us stronger.
Andy, in the back.
Mark, what was the process like for your team absorbing the fact that Anne Renee wasn't playing, that a freshman was making her first start? How did your team respond, especially the upperclassmen?
I think really well. The first period Friday, as I mentioned earlier, we were as good as we've been all year. We had a lot of puck possession, a lot of offensive zone time, several quality scoring opportunities. So that in itself indicated that the team was excited and certainly looking forward to, their freshman goalie helping us win a game.
How did Nikki play?
She played, in both games. She gave us a chance to win, and so I'm sure she was nervous. I'm sure that there was nervous excitement, getting a chance to play her first collegiate game. Obviously, Duluth has gotten off to a good start. They were ranked number 3 in the country. They're playing at home. They're playing with a bunch of confidence. They've got 5 or 6 seniors that are good college players, and so we were going to be challenged. And we came out Friday, and I think in the coach's mind was, let's make sure she makes the first save and gets herself comfortable. And she made a couple saves in the first period and got her feet wet. And again, with our players, whether it's the goaltender or somebody up front or one of our defensemen, it's a learning opportunity. So Friday after the game, you look at video. There's probably 4 or 5 clips that Dan, my assistant coach, showed her on Saturday, and I think that helped her. And without her performance, I think Saturday in the first period, we're probably down maybe 2 or 3-1. And so what she gained from Friday's game helped her in that first period when we needed her. So I think a lot of the players on the bench were excited by her performance.
I know this might be a touchy subject, but is Anne Renee okay? And are you at all concerned that this might linger a little while, Mark?
I'm not talking to, our training staff today. Obviously a day off yesterday, and I was out of town, so I've not conversed with them. And, I'll see in the next hour what's transpired. But obviously she didn't go on the trip, and which is good. I mean, you don't need to sit on a bus for 11 and a half hours when you don't need to. And she wasn't going to play either game this past weekend. So, hopefully I get back to the Kohl Center and Laban, and hopefully there's some good news.
What would you say has been your most consistent player so far?
Most consistent player, there's a couple of them. I mean, if you take the stats away, Emily Clark, I think, has played really well, especially, when we were down to 9 forwards for a couple weekends. Both her line mates are gone, and I thought, the games up in Mankato and certainly the games here against Bemidji, she's effective. She does a lot of little things that may not get put on the score sheet, but I thought, especially the last 6 or 8 games, she's really stepped up and played extremely well. Not only, the little things, as I mentioned, but, in the defensive zone, winning face-offs, killing penalties. And then you look at our blue line, Melissa Channel. I think Michaela Gardner in the last 4 or 5 games has taken a step up and done really well and elevated her game. And Jenny Ryan, I think, has been as consistent as anybody maybe we've had on our back end.
Anything else for Coach? All right. Thanks, Mark.